Hi there. Let's wrap up Chapter 3 with two more problems. And these are from Section 3.4, which is the name of this section is called A Few Cautions About Graphics. When you're looking at graphs, you do want to be careful. And the textbook has some really good examples of things to look out for, making sure that the scale is accurate. It has some cute pictures of dollar bills. It also talks about percentage changes in graphs, which can really be misleading. So here's our two examples from our guide. And the first one talks about the accompanying figure depicts the populations for three regions, A, B, and C. How is the graph misleading? Well, let's look at it. Well, on the horizontal axis, we have population in millions. And on the vertical axis, we have these three bars, region A, region B, and region C. And we've got ourselves a title. So the choices here are A, the graph is misleading because the population for each region is given in different units. Well, here's our population, and the units are 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So the units are the same. So I'm going to have to disagree with A. B, the graph is misleading because it does not use a uniform scale for the horizontal axis. Well, what that means that the scale isn't uniform would be that maybe we go from 20 to 30 to 35 to 100, so that the increments would not be uniform, and they are. So I'm going to have to disagree with B. C, the graph is misleading because the length of each bar is proportional to the population of each region, but the area of each bar is proportional to the square of each region's population. Well, that's quite a bit of words there, but I think what they're saying is that if the area here, if let's say the bars were fatter or skinnier, then that would make them look out of proportion, and they're not. All of the bars here have the same width, so I'm going to disagree with C. So let's see if maybe it's D. D, the graph is misleading because the horizontal axis does not start at 0. Bingo. It starts at 15. So it does kind of make this look different. You know, if you in fact started at 0, the bars would be longer. And quite often we do this just to make it easy. So that's why this is misleading. D. How could the graph be drawn so that it's not misleading? Well, of course, we would change that horizontal scale. By starting the horizontal scale at 0, the graph would not be misleading. Next question. Okay, so in this particular question, we've got a graph that shows percentage change. Let's take a look at it. So we've got on the horizontal axis, we have, I can't see it if I put it there. Sorry, to look at the little one. We have years. Each one of these bars is a year. And on the vertical axis, we have percent change from previous year. So this says that from 1989 to 1990, the percent increase was 5.4%. Okay, so again, this is the price index. In which years the graph shows the percentage change in a price index over 17 years. So question 1 says, in what year or years of the years displayed was the change in the price index the greatest? So if we're looking for the greatest change, that's really the length of this bar, because that's the change. So the biggest change happened in 1990. And the smallest change, of course, is going to say, when did it change the least? Well, let's look at when the bar was the shortest. That happened 2 places, in 1998 and in 2002. And I don't think I can get this next question on the chart for you. Oh, yes, I can. Be patient with me here. There we go. All right. It says, how do actual prices in 1991 compare to those in 1990? Okay, so we're looking at these 2 years. So in 1990, from the previous year, it shot up 5.5%. And then in 1989, the prices actually shot up 4.6%, right? So the actual price in 1991 was about 4.6% higher than in 1990. So this tells us how much it grew. So from this year to that year, it grew about 4.6%. And I think there's one more question, if we can get it on the chart for us, maybe. Based on this graph, what can you conclude about changes in prices during the period shown? Okay, A, prices have not increased in every year, but the increases near the end of the time period are lower than those near the beginning. B, prices have increased in every year, but the increases near the end of the time period are lower than those near the beginning. C, prices have increased in every year, but the increases near the end of the time period are larger than in the beginning. So every year it's been greater than 0. So we've increased every year. And I think that you would agree that if you look at it as a general trend, it kind of increased more at the beginning than at the end. So let's go ahead and give that one a shot. No, don't print it. And B. And we are done. Moving on to the next, once you finish going over the homework and the quizzes and the study guide and you've taken the test, we are ready to move on to Chapter 4. Probably one of my most favorite chapters in the book, so I know you're looking forward to it. It's about describing data. See you then.